Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Heaven's Vault. Last episode, we went through Elbereth a bit, spoke with a few of our companions there, found out that Arroy is probably never going to help us again, not after what happened to her. Really unfortunate. And we also hired this man Yazi, who broke his arm at Renba's dig site and during the dig and has led us back there. This place is barren. There is not really anything here. We'll hunt, see what we can find. Ah. What's this thing, Yazi? For lifting. This is how we ran the winch. How does it work? 3 workers wind it up. There's a rope attached to a cart filled with rocks. The cart comes up the tracks, then you let the cart go. So the tracks lead to the dig. Made for a cart, I suppose. Someone was building something. Not exactly, Micus. Not for robots. Not for robots. He wouldn't use robots. Why didn't Janicki use robots for the dig? Must have taken forever to excavate all this. I believe the answer is obvious, Mistress. Well, Six, enlighten me. Why didn't Renba use robots? Robots cannot keep secrets, Mistress. Every robot has a master. So Renba didn't want Mayari to know. Perhaps Mayari has a master of her own. No way through this way. When the work was too slow, Renba used explosives. He didn't seem to know what he was doing. This way, Micus. Follow me. Explosives seem to have been Renba's downfall. Now what's that? Is that a tent? Of course, Mistress. What now, Renba? Every moon is a new surprise. So all this was built before Renba went to Maersi. Renba must have found something here, something that led him into the cyclones. The robe and brooch, perhaps? It's a powerful frame. Renba must have been doing some heavy lifting. There's something etched here. But this is not an ancient site, Mistress. Elberethians carve ancient symbols for luck. I don't think they know what they mean. A primitive people. There's a few words in this one. We have down, we have up. Okay, we have up. We have is. We have and. Shall? That can't be right. I give up. I'm going to have to come back to this later. Is up, shall, and down. Equally, it might say cheese runs amok, Mistress, since the carvers do not know what they were carving. It doesn't say that. It's definitely 7 words, not 3. Is that why you say that? Mistress, I must warn you, I do not trust him. I do not believe he is being honest with you. I suspect there is something of value he wishes to retrieve. All this is very strange behavior for a roboticist, Mistress.
There were tents, carts, ropes and platforms. Renba must have had an army working here. And yet he had left it all behind. Just like that.
Here is what we did for him, Micus. The pit we dug is within, and it is deep. It must be some pit. What did Renba find? An eagle? Did he find more robots? I do not know. How long did all this take? I don't know, Micus. He used workers in shifts, a few weeks and then change. The work was hard. The air here is thin. But what was Renba looking for? Why go to all this effort? He did not say, and I was no longer here when he found it, whatever it was. There's the cart. For transporting rubble? We dug deep into the rock below. This is heavy equipment. Where did Renba get all this from? From Elbereth, I suppose. I would suggest it comes from a mine or a quarry. I would believe it is itself old. It must have taken weeks to set all this up. Was it worth it, Renba? Did you find what you were looking for? Something etched into the metal. Oh, dear God! This one is a phrase run together. We have in... God in... Ah! That's a lot of glyphs, but I'm sure it reads as find. Find God in... work? I want to say work. Find God in work. I suppose it could work. Goes around the tent. If you go inside, Micus, then you will understand. There's an opening somewhere. Around the back, Micus. Noted. There appears to be another cart up here, but we can't seem to get to it. Oh well. How old are you, Yazi? 34, mistress. I began working in the market when I was 8. 34? You could have been at the orphanage with me and Aroy. An orphanage would have been luxury. My parents sold me to her. Are your parents still alive? No. Oof. Poor guy. And seriously, considering what you can see of his arm, oof. I'm not gonna go around the tent this way. We will look back there, but not now. There's a whole bunch of tents. At its busiest, there were 20 or 30 workers here. We dug from dawn to dusk. Sometimes Renba watched, sometimes he disappeared. But Renba never had a robot with him. Never. He must have been certain there was something to find. But what? This moon's as barren as they come. He did not say. And I was no longer here when he found it. Whatever it was. It's quite a fall. Keep back from the edge, mistress. The sand may slide at any moment. Another dig? For storing equipment. What is all this? There must be a city under there. Trays? Little pieces. Pottery, metal shards. Nothing significant. They're surprising to find out here all the same. Renba was not interested in these pieces. The others collected them and shared them out to sell. Renba let you sell pieces he'd found. He insisted that we dig, but he did not care what we dug up. Interesting. Here's something. A brass flagon in this basket. Looks like something from the early Empire. The inside is heavily stained. Must have belonged to a heavy drinker. It doesn't have an inscription around the bottom. Most likely this comes from the same site as the telescope, and the figurine we found before. This will make its location easier to locate. This one isn't sealed. Lever the lid with the fragment from a copper scimitar. The copper blade fragment should do it. Looks like a crowbar there. There! Let's see now. Artifacts. Just like on the other moon. Look at this! It's a scratched silver compass decorated with a claw motif, dating from at least the earliest Empire period. It's very fine, only it doesn't work, Six. Look, it never has. The needle is stuck down. Why would anyone make a broken compass? Perhaps the owner did not like to travel, mistress. And there's something inscribed on the casing. This one is a fractured fragment from an even longer phrase. We have path, we have skies, we have follow. That isn't the word for skies. But I believe you are correct with path, mistress. So what does this say? Maybe this is winds. Winds follow... I want to say there. Winds follow their path? Does winds follow their path make sense? This comes from the same place as the flagon, I think. This will make the ancient pre-Empire site easier to locate. Ah, but that's not all. Look at this! It's a chipped devotional icon fashioned from bone, dating from the early Empire. Whoever made this didn't add an inscription on its head. I'd say that this comes from the same source as the scratched compass and the flagon. This should make it easier to find. But these are good finds. What are they doing out here? If I may, let's see... One of these had... Yeah, the one with winds. Which item was that from? Was it the silver sextant? Yes. So if that we're thinking is winds... Maybe this is line? I don't know. I don't know. Let's keep looking. Doesn't seem to be anything else over here. I can see the entrance over there. But I want to see if there's anything behind the tent over there first. Then we'll go in. And look at that! More carts. Oh. Another carving. Pardon me. Several words. Well, we have a guess for Earth. We have these. These Earth. So my translation Earth has to be wrong. Let's try something. Maybe this is stones. These stones do not move? I think I'm getting an idea. This cross seems to be a cancel of whatever comes after it. And I've seen this several times, specifically on the left side of the identification symbol, which is 2 on the left, 1 on the right. So it seems like this is. So if this is yes or do or is, and this is a cancel, then do not or cannot. I'm guessing do not. These stones do not move. That or cannot move. It's one of the two. These stones do not move. A request for strength, added by builders to keep buildings safe. Writing must seem like magic to those who can't read. Okay, that goes around the tent. I'm not going to use that. Another mining cart, of a similar age to the previous. This one's also inscribed, symbols etched deep into the metal. There's a few words in this one. Okay, we've got is for work. I can add my translation for work to my dictionary now. I want to say day, because this is definitely time. I want to say day is for work. Day is for work. That will do for now. Pretty sure there's nothing else around here. Does seem to be something over there, but... okay, at least we can do a quick walk without using my fingers there. Only got 10 minutes left, but hopefully that's enough that we can explore inside this place. This the way in? Mycus. Tied up from the outside. My scanners do not suggest there is anyone inside. As I told you, they all left. The knot's old. Hard to... there. I will wait out here. Why? There's a large winch inside, Mycus, which I do not intend to meet again. You will forgive me, I hope. Of course. You're with me, Six.
Darkness.
Mistress, watch your step.
An enormous pit had been cut into the rock below. It must have taken days to do. Weeks, even.
What could be down here to be worth all this? We'll take a look at the winch by going around the outside. Because I can see the winch. Ah! Looks like a generator. It's very dark in here. Indeed, mistress. I mean, it's too dark to work. Renma must have set up some lights. Then in turn, mistress, there must be power. Roy would love this. Maybe Renma bought it from her. Evidently, it is a generator, mistress. Your friend Roy most likely made it. Let's see now. Light!
Wooden walkways spiraled down, held together by ropes and luck. You could tell this place was built by Elberethians.
Those walkways look unbelievably dangerous, mistress. This whole thing feels oddly like walking into a trap. Walkways poised to collapse, a pit big enough to hold an eagle, and yet you intend to walk into it. Of course I intend to walk into it. The only way to understand a trap is to trigger it. I'd argue with that. That is possibly the stupidest thing I have ever heard, mistress. Yeah, for once, I agree with Six. You can understand a trap without triggering the damn thing. Also, it's interesting that they keep speaking of eagles as if they're demons. That's very curious. Another cart here. Doesn't seem like anything comes of it. Okay, that's the way down, but over here we have the winch. An inscription. This one is a phrase run together. Alright, we have stone again. And we have hold. I'm sure my translation for stone is correct now. Hold back stone, I want to say. I've seen this a few times. I feel like this might be forwards? Or going? No, not going exactly, but like a direction? I want to say hold back stone. Hold back stone. Oh. Lifting equipment. But not very good lifting equipment. Whatever Master Renba was doing here, Mistress, he was doing it secretly, not well. I guess this is what crushed Yazi's arm. They rebuilt it, kept on working. Mistress, I do not think Renba had an ethical core, Mistress. I think Renba might have been well suited to his robots. He didn't have robots, though, so how can you... Okay. Well, it looks like we have the one way down. Let's take the path. Here goes. The walkway is extremely badly made. Mistress? Typical. This board seems weaker than the others. I concur, Mistress. Will it take my weight? I would require more information. Presumably you will not be the first to cross it. I go by the waters. I go by the waters. Ha! Made it! For reference, Mistress, the next flank appears worse. How much worse? About 60%, Mistress. Since the first did not break, however, that is unhelpful information. Here goes. Oh no! God has preserved me. That was a little close. Not that way, then. What other way is there? Is there another way down? There is only one other way down, Mistress. Perhaps now we can leave? There's no way I could jump that. Obviously not. There appears to be, like, an option down there, but I can't do it. This plank was loose. I could probably drag it. Mistress, please. The hopper will not work under the tent canopy. If you fall, you will not fly up again. You'd find a way to get me out, though, wouldn't you? Your ethical core would demand it. I appreciate your faith in me, Mistress, but I am not magical. I'm sure I can do this. This is going to work out fine. Excellent. With luck, that should hold. Here goes nothing. Easy. But there is no way for me to follow, Mistress. Then stay there. You can keep watch. I will keep watch for your common sense, Mistress. You have clearly dropped it somewhere. Oh, I do like your snark. Can you see what's down there? Digging equipment. Now come back up. You sound like a nagging mother. Well, there's certainly something buried down here, but I can't make out what. Whatever it is, Mistress, it has been down here for some considerable time. I wonder what Yazi is up to. With luck, he has not stolen your ship, Mistress. Of course he hasn't. How could he fly it with only one arm? Another plank. Longer than the ones higher up. Will this one hold? Mistress, I beseech you, if I might remind you, if you break your leg down here, you will stay here until it heals. If I did break my leg, would you at least try to retrieve me? No, mistress, the probabilities are clear. If you become unable to walk down here, I will give up immediately and return to Iox. Stop worrying. I am not worrying. I am calculating. Well, here goes. I despair. I assumed you heard the plank creaking, mistress. Bits of metal in this open box. Fittings, eyelets, hooks. Spare parts. Something else. What have we got? This is an inked chart of the clouds. I think it dates from the earliest days of the nebula. Inside the gap between two flows, there appears to be some painted symbols, mistress. This one is a blotted piece from an even longer phrase. Quite a bit. We have May. We have you. God. I believe I remember the word May, mistress. Well, if that's a location, and that is star location, may nebulas? May nebula's god lift you? That would be either nebulas or sky. Maybe it's sky. May sky god lift you. Does may sky god lift you work? I don't think this is from the same place or period as any of the other things we've found here. In fact, I don't think we've seen anything like this chart before. That suggests this originates from somewhere that's new to us. Another generator. Well, let's turn it on. Let's see what's down here. Oh. What is that? Is that a hull? It's beautiful. 6! This thing down here. It's a boat. Impossible, mistress. It is far too large to fly. But it must be. Evidently, it is extremely big, mistress. Based on the curvature of the hull, 20 to 30 times the size of the Nightingale. Imagine it intact. An enormous hull, multiple sets of sails. How does it end up here? That is interesting. I'm coming back across. Mistress, I cannot advise. Oh no. Oof. Ugh. Mistress, are you alright? Ouch. I'm alright. More or less. There's some cloth here. It broke my fall. It's really thick and heavy. It must be almost 950 years old, mistress. Sailcloth. I cannot imagine how such a boat could be launched. The rivers up here are barely strong enough to lift the Nightingale up into the sky. Maybe the uprivers were stronger in the past. There's no upriver on this moon. That explains why the buried ship is still here. Once it landed, it could not leave. From the damage, I would suggest that it crashed. A wooden spar, inset with metal rings, for ropes. It's huge. I've dug on scores of moons, 6. You know, I've never found robots buried on any of them. Only on Iox. I assume we were stored there, in case we were needed. In case you were needed for what? For following me around? I do not know why Professor Mayari considers you important enough to have a robot, mistress. I don't know why Mayari keeps giving them to me either, unless she's trying to get rid of them. Ah, there's an inscription here. A very simple one. This one has several words. Winds of. I'm convinced my translation for winds is right now. Winds of... Starlight? Starlight or sun? No, we have the symbol for star, and then we have the symbol for light again, so I'm going to say starlight. Without a doubt. Winds of Starlight. Sounds like the name of a ship. But I've never seen a ship this big. So were you off while you were buried? Asleep? Is that why you can't remember it? I do not know, mistress. I cannot remember. Maybe the roboticists wiped your memory after they dug you up. If I'd been buried alive for 100 years, I'd be mad. But you still remember a few things from before. Right. You think they are real memories? I was afraid my core was irrevocably damaged. I wonder what else you used to know. Of all things to be discussing here. A metal ring. It's a hatch. And it's etched with symbols in ancient. Carry crystals from... Huh. Person light. It's definitely not suns. There's no symbol for light there. We have place, we have plants, we have stone. Metals? No, I want to say it's Serpent's Eye. Somehow that makes sense to me. Carry crystals from Serpent's Eye. What's a Serpent's Eye? I peered down into a dusty, gloomy space. Mistress, please do not stick your arm in there. It's not so deep. I found this necklace outside the Hermitage, but I don't know what these things are that it's made of. Shells, mistress. Those are shells. What's a shell? A snail-like creature that lives in saltwater, mistress. There are some in the tanks on Iox. Why would anyone make a necklace out of snails? I report on humans, mistress. I do not pretend to understand their foibles. Why are we talking about this, mistress? You should come back up! Maybe I can just... Mistress! There's something here. I found... something. Is this what a jewel from a serpent's eye looks like, then? Crystal. Well, there doesn't appear to be anything else. So I think we can probably leave. And this episode has gone on long enough, I think. This was quite a find here, I have to say. We know there's another site. Granted, we don't know where it is. It must be this ancient site. We'll have to investigate it later because we need to leave. We need to end this episode here and we need to leave. This is interesting. Next episode we'll climb back up out of this place, take a look at those other tents that we happen to see, and move on. But that'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Chesrook44. This is Aaliyah and Six. This has been a Let's Play of Heaven's Vault, and I shall see you all next time.